Okay, thank you, Noel. Now that the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that President Biden doesn't have the authority to cancel or reduce student loan debt, millions of borrowers are bracing to start the payments again in a little more than 60 days.
And the Biden administration planned to use the HEROES Act, first passed in Congress in 2001 after the September 11th attacks, to allow the education secretary to waive or modify student loan programs for those affected by the attack.
In a 6-3 vote, the Supreme Court voted not to pass that forgiveness plan. Wave News anchor Dawn G is here to share some info that may help you make ends meet.
Yeah, John, so I'm going to try. October, that's not far away. That is the start for the student loan payments to begin again. You're going to get a billing statement or another notice at least 21 days before your payment is due, but it's best to start preparing now.
40 million people were up and ready to have the student loan forgiven.
According to the Federal Reserve, the average American borrower carries an estimated $30,000 in student loans or more. The U.S. Department of Education was preparing to provide up to $20,000 in debt cancellation to Pell Grant recipients with loans held by the Department of Education, and up to $10,000 in debt cancellation to non-Pell Grant recipients with the student loan forgiveness. That program was struck down by the Supreme Court.
A little less than half had already been approved for it to be forgiven.
Payment of those student loans begins again in October 2023. Interest on those loans starts to accrue again September 1st, 2023.
What individual borrowers need to do is they need to start planning for that and start to budget for that extra added expense that's going to be there that they thought wasn't going to be there.
At-risk borrowers unable to begin payments immediately will have some protections. The president has what is being called a default on-ramp repayment program.
They're going to let you ease into those payments without any consequence if you're not able to pay right away.
You will have a 12-month on-ramp period where late, missed, or partial payments will not be considered delinquent, reported to credit bureaus, placed in default, or referred to collection agencies. You do not need to take any action to qualify. The period runs only from October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024.
It's a 12-month runway. It's not a 12-month forbearance or deferment.
There are other programs to help if this burden of debt is too great. One is the public service loan for those who work in government, public service, or in nonprofit.
You have to have had your loan for 10 years and have made payments on it for 10 years, and then you can qualify for the rest of that potentially being forgiven.
Teachers, nurses, doctors, veterans, and active duty military are also eligible for federal or state programs specifically designed to help manage or forgive student debt. There is also an income-driven repayment plan that offers relief.
So they'll look at your income, the income that you currently have coming in, and they'll also look at your budget, your expenses.
Your monthly student loan payment will then be set to an amount that is affordable based on your current income. Whatever you do, don't ignore your student loan payment.
When you're signing the dotted line, you are basically promising to pay back that money. And when you don't, there are consequences.
Unlike other unpaid debt, an unpaid student loan will not fall off your credit report in 7 years. It can be a lifelong blemish.
They can garnish your wages. They can, if you're supposed to get a tax return, a tax refund back, the government can take that. The government has the ability to garnish your Social Security benefits also.
Okay, now this is a lot of information. The latest news on student loan debt today. The Department of Education announced it would automatically forgive student loans for more than $800,000 for borrowers. This is a result of what the department calls a fixed-to-income-driven repayment plans just announced. Go to your studentaid.gov profile if you've made one. Make one if you don't have one, and make sure your contact information is current to avoid any crucial updates or information. If you had auto pay before March 13, 2020, you've got to re-enroll in auto pay. It's not going to automatically restart. You need to know that. And listen, if you sign up for automatic payments, the servicer is going to take 0.25% off your interest. I know you're saying so, but that saves a little bit of your money. Helping you make ends meet, I'm Dawn G.